Everybody. Hi. My topic for today is support groups and their role in coping. It's a nice initiative that all of us have come together here in identifying what can be done to provide more information to patients as they go in throughout their journey of first being diagnosed with the condition and later being told what to do. And as medical students and doctors, I think it is our responsibility as much as what it is that of the patients in helping them out and providing them with the correct sources of information. I think Chevy presented a very good talk on what can be done and where information can be sought after. But what happens after that? It is not, just getting information is not the whole and sole end of the story. Let me begin by giving you a few examples. Imagine if a 11-year-old kid who's walking, talking and playing is told that within 4 or 5 years you aren't going to be able to walk, you'll be bedridden, and slowly you will die a slowly painful death due to respiratory compromise, where you won't be able to breathe anymore. This is a condition called as Duchenne's muscular dystrophy, where patients within 15 to 18 years die because they cannot breathe anymore as their muscles are too tired to work. Imagine if a 20-year-old student is told that within 20 years you aren't going to move your body anymore. Your hands and legs are going to start moving involuntarily, and you are again going to die a slow, painful death. This is a disease called as Huntington's chorea, where patients, it's a genetic disorder, where patients lose control of their motor systems and slowly go down the path where they won't live anymore. Imagine a couple who are extremely happy on having their first kid born, and they are told within 24 weeks, as ma'am had said, that they have the child that will be born is suffering from Down syndrome. It is not a happy news for any new parent to hear this, because although Down children are said to be extremely happy, they will die early. They will have many infections, many complications, and it is not an easy thing. What do these patients do? Just going to doctors will not help here, because doctors cannot fulfill a certain role that patients require, the sort of emotional and social support which can be derived from social groups. So what are support groups or self-help groups? They are voluntary organizations formed out of peers, and their basic role is to come together, provide mutual help and support in overcoming the disability or handicap, in satisfying a common need, or in trying to overcome and get through a life-destructive disorder. And it is usually the end result is usually a change in the social or behavioral environment of the patients. There are two basic types of support groups. One is professional support groups, and one are peer-formed support groups. Professional ones are those where doctors or senior professionals come together and provide guidance to patients as they come to them. While peers are usually those who have already suffered from a previous condition or have family members suffering from this. They come together, they share their experiences and hope that their experiences will help someone else in the future. A brief history of how support groups started. Alcoholics Anonymous is one of the first groups to have started. It is said that during the World War, when they came together, there was an increased need for them to come and get rid of their alcoholism, and this is how it is said to have started. By around 1960s, there were various civil rights movements where people became aware of what their rights are as patients and as individuals, and this is how it led to mass-scale movements to increase information. By 1970s, these large-scale movements had trickled down to smaller groups, and that laid the way to forming support groups. By 1980s, this movement had struck an international level where groups formed all over the world, many of them being of the having a similar origin, and that resulting in a greater spread of ideas and information. Around 1990s, a new era came where online support groups were formed, and that led to a completely new exchange of information and a widespread exchange of information. What is the importance of support groups? How do they help people? First of all, it's providing information. Many a times, all these rare chronic disorders, even the doctors aren't aware of them when the patient talks to them. But imagine a person who has a family or a relative who has gone through this whole process, who has searched on the net and found out information. it is said that support groups in such disorders are actually, the more discussion happens here rather than in the clinic room with the doctor. So information is one of the main reasons why the importance is of these groups. Another is welfare. To know that someone else has something similar what you have, and it gives a sort of comfort, although obviously the person knows what the end result will be. But at least there is some comfort, there is some feeling of belonging as patients talk to each other and discuss situations and problems, what can be done, what cannot be done, and so on and so forth. Another importance is that various support groups, they lobby for particular ideas or particular laws to be passed by the government so that people suffering from these disorders can have a better and streamlined source of health, and they should not suffer unnecessary hurdles in this whole process. Another thing could be in providing legal support so that they get to know what are the privacy laws, how they can prevent themselves from being discriminated, and various other conditions. Another importance is something called research. Support groups with a particular disorder form very good cohorts where research can be carried out, and another aspect, these same people can provide inputs on what further research can be done. A last thing could be, many of these support groups, based on the experiences of the patient, try and bring out certain guidelines. Obviously, they will not compare with guidelines provided by major organizations like WHO or American Heart Association or so forth, but at least they provide a sort of level or a basic level beyond which companies or these organizations can build up and provide more and better than healthcare. In spite of having all these great points, one does need to be aware of what shortcomings are of these groups. Many of them have a lack of accountability. Just because there is a support group doesn't mean it is going to support you always. Many of these are just formed because patients feel that they have something more to say. They start up a group, and as patients come to them, nothing happens henceforth. There is no communication, there is no exchange of information, there is no feedback. Patients need to be aware of this. Another thing is certain disorders acquire a sort of they are promoted in such a way, like congenital heart diseases, cancers. Even doctors have a bias towards these conditions, and lesser known disorders, chronic disorders or chromosomal disorders are left out. One needs to be wary of this aspect as well. But whatever the shortcomings are, I think it is important to proceed in the right direction towards in the help of support groups. Online support groups, as I mentioned earlier, have led to widespread exchange of information. Patients from all the 7 continents can come, discuss, and exchange information as they talk to each other. I have provided a list of various websites where support groups are enlisted from in Mumbai and beyond as well. Obviously, I tried searching for a common website, but there is none. I would advise patients to really Google whatever problem they have, Google the location that they are in, and trust me, you'll get a wide wealth of information. Consult your doctors as well, and I think it will lead to a better exchange and ideas of information. I would like to conclude by saying support groups really encourage people and help them overcome their disability or shortcomings, and they are a step in the right direction. As Oscar Wilde once said, ordinary riches can be stolen, real riches can't. Find that one thing within you, that infinitely precious thing which cannot be taken away from you. That is your information, and that is your support group. Thank you.